3 days ago, Anthropic dropped Claude 4, and in 72 hours, it has done what almost nobody expected. It dethroned ChatGPT. Not in vibes, not in Twitter polls. In the App Store, in coding benchmarks, in the actual workflows that small teams and solo developers run every day. Claude Opus 4, the top-tier model, just hit 72.5% on SWE-bench, the hardest real-world coding test in AI. ChatGPT's flagship is still under 60. That's not a tweak, that's a generation jump. In the next 8 minutes, I'll walk you through the 5 specific things Claude 4 can now do that ChatGPT cannot, with the exact use cases where it matters and the one thing you should not use it for. This is Build with AI. We don't review AI, we test it on real work. Let's go. Thing number 1, Claude Opus 4 just hit 72.5% on SWE-bench. If you're not a developer, here's what that means in plain English. SWE-bench is a test where the AI is handed a real open source software bug pulled from real GitHub issues and asked to fix it. Not write a snippet. Fix it inside the actual repo, run the tests, make them pass. 6 months ago, the top score in the industry was around 48%. ChatGPT's GPT-4 Turbo was at 43. Today, Claude Opus 4 hit 72.5. What that means for your real life, a bug that would have taken your junior developer 4 hours can now be triaged, patched, and tested by Claude in under 15 minutes. The same applies if you're a solo founder maintaining your own codebase. What used to be a "I'll fix it after dinner" item is now a "I'll fix it before my coffee finishes" item. I tested it on 3 real bugs from a small Django project I'd been running. All 3 were patched correctly on the first attempt. One of them I'd been putting off for 3 weeks. Claude handled it in 11 minutes. The coding lead just changed hands. If you're paying for Copilot or Cursor, your stack just got an upgrade you didn't have to install. Thing number 2, Claude 4 can work continuously for hours. This one is wild. Anthropic shipped what they call extended thinking with tools. Claude can now run a sustained task with web searches and tool calls happening in the background for several hours without losing context. The use case here is enormous. You can hand Claude a research brief at 9 in the morning. Audit our top 5 competitors' pricing pages. Find the average discount they're offering this quarter and draft a counter-positioning memo. Go to your meetings, come back at lunch, and the work is done. 3 of those tasks would have taken you a full afternoon. Now they happen while you're in stand-up. For developers, the equivalent is hand Claude a feature spec, walk away, come back to a working pull request with tests. For agency owners, hand Claude a client onboarding folder, come back to a draft proposal, audit, and follow-up email. Thing number 3, parallel tool calls. Older AI models, ChatGPT included, call one tool at a time. Search the web, wait, read the result, then call the next tool, sequentially. Claude 4 now runs tools in parallel. It can search 10 sources at once, read them simultaneously, and synthesize. The speed up is roughly 5 to 10 times on any task that involves more than one external source. The practical version, a market research task that took Claude 3 40 minutes now takes Claude 4 about 6. I tested this myself. 42 minutes versus 7. Same prompt, same data sources, same quality of output. If you're using AI for research, this single feature changes your day. Thing number 4, Claude Code is now generally available, and it just got native VS Code and JetBrains integration. If you've been writing code in 2026 and you're not using an AI coding agent, you're behind. The question is, which one? Until last week, Claude Code was in a private beta. As of this week, it's open to everyone, with 2 new features that change the math. First, native integrations with VS Code and JetBrains. Open your editor, get Claude as a sidebar agent that reads your whole codebase. Not just the file you're staring at, the whole repo. Second, GitHub Actions integration. Claude can now run as a background CI agent. Push a PR, Claude reviews it, suggests fixes, runs the tests, and posts the result back to the PR thread. For a solo developer or a 2-person team, this is the closest thing to having a senior code reviewer on retainer that has ever existed. Thing number 5, memory across long sessions. Most AI models forget after a few thousand tokens. You give it context, it loses context. By the time you get to message 20, it's confused about what you were doing in message 3. Claude 4 has significantly upgraded persistent memory. In testing, I held a single conversation across 3 days about a small SaaS project I'm building, and on day 3, Claude correctly remembered the deployment stack I'd mentioned in passing on day 1. It surfaced it without me reprompting. For anyone running a long project, content series, software build, market analysis, this means your AI assistant finally stops being amnesiac. It remembers your decisions. It builds on them. One important honest note before the wrap. Claude 4 is now the strongest model on coding, on long context work, and on parallel research. That's the headline. But ChatGPT is still ahead in 2 specific areas. First, image generation. Claude doesn't generate images natively. If you need a thumbnail, a product mockup, or a marketing visual, ChatGPT's DALL-E integration still beats Claude's text-only output. Second, voice mode. ChatGPT's advanced voice, the one you can have an actual conversation with, has no equivalent on Claude yet. If you use AI hands-free, in the car, on a walk, with your phone, ChatGPT still wins that workflow. For everything else, writing, coding, agents, automation, research, document analysis, customer support drafts, even creative work, Claude 4 is now the smarter choice. Use the right tool for the right job. Both subscriptions cost $20. Pay both. The combined cost is less than a single hour of developer time per month. That's the 5-thing brief. If you remember nothing else, SWE-bench 72.5, multi-hour autonomous tasks, parallel tools, Claude code in your IDE, persistent memory across sessions. This week's homework: pick one of those 5 and try it. Run it on something real, not a toy prompt. A real piece of your week. Next video, I'm going to do exactly that on camera. I'm giving Claude Code my entire side project for 7 days, no human edits, and I'll show you what it built. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you Thursday.